Hey, it's time to catch up. We're going to talk about some media day stuff and also some TV deal stuff and some belated birthday wishes. All that and more on this edition of Locked On Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
You're Locked On Ducks, your daily podcast on the Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jason Hernandez. I've been covering hockey for well over a decade, and this episode is brought to you by the Gametime app. Download the app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. That is Gametime. So welcome to the only podcast that asks, is Trevor Zegras really going with that hairdo? Yeah, he is. We'll talk about that in a quick second. But first, to remind you that this podcast is free and available across all platforms. And you can follow me on Twitter X at StimpyJD. And the show's Twitter X, that's LO_Ducks. All right, so I'm just going to talk about that really quick. Trevor Zegras coming in hot on Media Day. I don't know if y'all saw this on Twitter yesterday. If you did, great. If you didn't, well, here it is right here in all its glory. Trevor Zegras sporting, what could only be described as the Yager mullet. That's what I'm going with. Trevor Zegras sporting the brand new jersey and the new hairdo. And I gotta say, I'm gonna go a little bit weird here. I love the layering on the hair, love the little highlighting here, but dang, what a party in the back. This guy's ready for this season. You know that when someone is rocking that kind of hairdo, and this year he's throwing it back to the 90s. He's throwing it back to late 80s, 90s. We're talking Jaromir Jagr. Maybe he'll do an homage. He'll do a salute one time. Who knows? Maybe he'll do it in Pittsburgh. That'd be kind of funny. It's an homage to some of the greatest players in NHL history. And that is kind of ballsy for him to have that kind of statement haircut. That's exactly what that is. Zegras, as many of you know, missed most of last season due to injuries. And by all accounts, he has been working hard, practicing. He looks like he's ready to go, like now. I would not be surprised if he comes into training camp just guns a-blazing, ready to take back the reins as the team leader in goals and points. I am here for it. He's all about that. Speaking of other Media Day stuff, we also saw Radko Gudas out and about doing his thing. He was in the Octagon. I don't know if you guys saw this, but he was out there with Brian Ortega, and he looks like he's ready to go as well. Radko Gudas, one of the I don't even want to call him an elder statesman of the team, but that's pretty much what he is when you're surrounded by so many young guys on this team. He is essentially the de facto veteran on the team, and he's displaying some characteristics that some are saying are befitting of a captain. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm not saying that he is. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen, but I'm saying those are the characteristics that we're seeing out of Radko Gudas these days. Would I like to see him be a captain? Yeah, I would not mind that at all. In fact, that would probably be a good fit for captain, at least for the interim for right now, because the Ducks right now, they still need a direction. They still need some kind of leadership. And I could see Gudas holding on to that role for another couple seasons before handing over the reins to someone else, someone like a Mason McTavish, someone like a Troy Terry. I'm still on the Troy Terry boat myself for the sole reason that we know that he's going to be there for a while. But I'll talk about Troy Terry more in a little bit. But as far as Gudas is concerned, he's getting some workouts in, trying to bulk up a little bit more than he already is. He's already jacked as it is. But watch out for Radko Gudas getting into a couple of fights this coming season. We are here for it. We cannot wait to see Radko throw down with a couple of the younger fighters in this league. So that's going to be a ton of fun. Ross Johnston, he was also in the octagon trying to throw down. And you know what? I'm fine with this. The Ducks could always use a little bit more muscle. That way none of the younger guys get injured. That way they don't get hurt. The media tour is looking really good with Radko Gudas. Also looking really good on Trevor Zegras. We're going to see a lot more from those guys in the coming days. I also like the fact that he's out there just answering questions. That's going to be a lot of fun to check out. Also, we're about a month away from season starting. We're a month away. And I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the media tour for other people in the organization. And this is where I'm going to have a selfish shout out here. Wild Wing and the Ducks DJ JoJo. That's right. They were both out. This is going to be a little self-serving, but they were out on the course this past weekend for the half marathon. And you know what? I mean, they're out there promoting. They're doing their thing. They're trying to promote that this is Orange County. And you know what? This is absolutely Orange County. We're seeing a lot more of the team, but also members associated with the team. We're talking announcers, DJs, what have you. They're all jacked for this season as well. We cannot wait. All right, we're going to head into the first intermission right now. When we come back from that first intermission, we got to talk about the new TV deal. I know this is old news, but we got to talk about it because this is very good news and will help expand the viewership for Ducks games. Stay locked in. And now a brief word from Indeed. And folks, we're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Now look, ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree. Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to a recent Indeed survey. Oh boy. Also, you ready for this? Listeners of this show, this very show, will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/locked on. Oh man, can you believe that? Yeah, you heard that right. Just go to Indeed.com/locked on right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. That's Indeed.com/locked on for a $75 sponsored job credit. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Welcome back to Locked On Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Once again, you're locked in with Jason JD Hernandez, and let's talk about what I think is one of the bigger stories in this offseason as far as the Ducks are concerned, and that is the television deal. That's right. The Anaheim Ducks will no longer be seen on Bally Sports, formerly known as Fox Sports, West 2, Prime Ticket, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that is all gone now because the Anaheim Ducks are going to be on free-to-view TV. That's right, they'll be on broadcast TV on KCOP Channel 13, formerly known as UPN and also known as Fox Plus. Okay, sure. But we'll go with that. KCOP Channel 13, for those of you that have the old rabbit ears or the old, converter box, there you go. Right there on 13-1 or Channel 13. And that channel is even on like your most basic cable. So even if you have like the cheapest, like basic cable, you get a few channels, you get all the broadcast channels. Yep, it is right freaking there on Channel 13. Let's read this first. This was coming straight from the Ducks. And here's what it says. The Ducks have partnered with a parent media company, owner of Victory Plus and Fox 11 Plus, KCOP Channel 13, to stream, televise all regional Ducks games free of charge, beginning with the 24-25 NHL season. all local games will be available to stream on a newly formed sports network, Victory Plus, a free direct-to-consumer streaming service created for Ducks fans by APMC. Also, the agreement with Fox 11 Plus will include 65 Ducks games on over-the-air television. As a result, locally broadcast Ducks games will be available to 100% of the LA regional market, entirely free to all fans. That is awesome. Ducks president Aaron Teets went on to say that we're so pleased to announce that fans in our entire TV market, via stream or traditional TV, will see locally broadcast games free of charge. It is a significant organizational priority to connect Ducks fans with our entire market and for every fan in our region to have the opportunity to watch Ducks games without cost across multiple accessible platforms. End quote. So there's a few things to unwrap here. They're going to have 65 Ducks games on OTT. That's over the air television. But I've heard OTT, one of those terms. That's going to be awesome. It's going to be on the over-the-top streaming alternative. That's one. And then over the air, we'll have 65. So let's talk about the over the air first. That means 17 games are missing over the air. Well, that's because some of those games are going to be only on national TV, because the Ducks also announced that they're going to be on national broadcasts 4 times. That's pretty awesome. 1 on ESPN, 2 on ESPN Plus and Hulu, and 1 on TNT. So here are those national games. Tuesday, February 4th, versus the Dallas Stars on ESPN Plus. Then Wednesday, March 12th, at Utah Hockey Club. That's on TNT. The time for that has changed from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. The February 4th game is now a 7:30 p.m. game. Tuesday, April 10th, at the Los Angeles Kings. That's on ESPN Plus, but you may as well go to that game because those are always fun. That's Tuesday, April 10th. That game time has changed from 7:30 to 7. And then April 13th at home versus the Colorado Avalanche on ESPN, the big network. The game time changed from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for that game. So there you go. You got 4 games on national, 65 on over the air. So that's 69 games. Nice. That leaves 13 that will not be on over the air TV, which means that those 13 games will likely be exclusively on Victory Plus. So what exactly is Victory Plus? Well, it is a streaming service that will be available for download on smart TVs, tablets, and smartphones this September, which is actually this month. This ensures that fans outside the Ducks regional territory will still be able to enjoy Victory Plus and watch a plethora of other stuff. So as far as Victory Plus is concerned, this is a fairly new streaming service that was kind of made specifically for the Anaheim Ducks. But in addition, they just signed on to another team, and this literally just took place today. So it's a good thing I recorded this now. The Dallas Stars, who I just mentioned, they're the second team that's going to be on Victory Plus. So let me repeat that. They have live games and exclusive on-demand content with the Dallas Stars and the Anaheim Ducks. So maybe we'll be able to see some Dallas Stars games. That's pretty awesome. And here's where it is available right now. It is available right now on Roku, Apple iOS, Android, Amazon Fire TV, Google TV, and web streaming. Coming soon to Samsung, Apple TV, LG, and Vizio. But right now, if you have a Roku TV or you have an Android, all y'all that said, oh, Androids, they suck. Well, you know what? Yeah, that's right. I got an Android. I'll be watching on my phone whenever I'm not watching on over the air or when I'm not at the pond. But Roku, pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to that. What is going to be interesting is if we're able to see Dallas Stars games on there as well. Honestly, this is nothing but a good thing for Ducks broadcast because they had been just mired on their Bally Sports / Fox Sports deal for so long. And with Diamond Sports Group now going bankrupt and more teams going away from those regional sports, look, the NHL, let's be honest, it is the fourth league as far as ratings are concerned, as far as money is concerned, as far as contracts. I mean, as far as most things are concerned, let's just be honest with ourselves. Hockey is the fourth sport. NFL being the most profitable, the most popular league in the country. And second would be the NBA right now. Third would be MLB. Yes, MLB is now third, by the way. And NHL is on fourth. But at least that crowd is kind of organically growing, and the ratings have not fallen for the National Hockey League, with the exception of the Winter Classic. But in general, look at the ratings for the Stanley Cup playoffs this year. Those were some pretty solid ratings, especially for Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. That was seen by millions and millions of houses across the nation. A lot of fans wanted to see, could McDavid hoist a cup? Could the Oilers do the impossible, win 4 in a row in a reverse sweep? I mean, that was an intriguing series altogether. So the fact that at least more than one team is going away from the regional and showing these games on free-to-air TV and a free streaming service, nothing but the best news. There is one more set of news here that I do need to mention, and that is the broadcast team. Brian Hayward and John Allers are set to return. They are going to be the broadcast team that's going to return. No plans changes. I know what you're going to say. I know what several Ducks fans are going to say. So I'm not going to say it. What I will say is that I'm a big proponent of Duck Stream Radio. I think those two do an amazing job. An amazing job. Carol and Edom. They're two of the best. First off, Carol is probably one of the best hockey radio voices in the entire National Hockey League. Okay, I love listening to those radio broadcasts. Pairing him with Emerson Edom last season and having Alexis Downey do color for some of those games as well, that was just like that was a chef's kiss right there. And I found myself honestly listening to a lot of games, having the TV on mute because I love those radio calls. So yeah, that's what's going on as far as the TV talent is concerned. No changes for now. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm not going to have any more comments on that. And I'm sure I'll talk more about Victory Plus and KCOP 13 as the days and weeks go on. But I got to tell you, I'm really excited about this. Oh, also, this was also mentioned, by the way, and I think fans are going to love this. There will be the option to watch from the start if you are entering the stream halfway through the game. We will also be making the games available for 72 hours after as an on-demand offering. Once that 72-hour period is up, the game is removed from Victory Plus per NHL regulations. That's really cool. That's really effing cool. So the Ducks doing something very good to try to get more eyeballs on the product, to try to get more fans to follow this young, budding roster, this up-and-coming team that is only going to get better. They are not going to be last place. They will not be second to last place this coming season. Mark my word, the Ducks are on the rise, and this is the year where we're going to see it. And it's going to be free for fans to watch. I'm excited about that. Ducks fans should be very excited about that too. Yeah, if you're not a Ducks fan, come on, join the party. Maybe if they allow Ducks fans to watch Stars games, maybe if they allow Stars fans to watch Ducks games, if you happen to be a Stars fan or a fan of a different team, come join the soon to be budding, bustling bandwagon. I didn't intend for that to be alliteration, but come join the party. We're going to have fun. All right, we're going to head to the second intermission right now, and we're going to have some belated birthday wishes on the other side. And now a brief word from the Gametime app. And folks, if you haven't used the Gametime app before, then what are you waiting for? Gametime has a new feature called Gametime Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. It filters out the fluff to show you only the best incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I mean, well, maybe sometimes you love looking through tickets, but for those of you that don't, Gametime Picks is the way to go, and I've used Gametime a plethora of times. You know, you can watch the Angels for $1. Yeah, you can watch Angels for $1 next week as they take on the Chicago White Sox, two teams that are in the bottom of the standings. But hey, you could use it for Los Angeles Dodgers games. You could use it for Anaheim Ducks games. Or if you're a fan of a different team, you can watch those games too. So that's what I love. I love the flash deals. I love the zone deals. They are two of my favorite features on Gametime. So if you haven't already, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Gametime. Welcome back to Locked On Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Once again, you're locked in with Jason JD Hernandez, and we're going to wrap this one up fairly quickly because we have got some belated birthday wishes that I'm going to dish out. First off, I'm just going to come on the record and say that September 10th is the best calendar day of the year. It's a day that I look forward to usually every year. Usually. Yeah. I'll get to that in a second. But there are two birthdays on the 10th. Fellow Virgos, fellow September 10th birthdays. Olen Zellweger. That is right. Olen Zellweger, a fellow Virgo. He's still a youngin', folks. He's still very young. The defenseman has just turned 21 years old. He can legally buy a drink now. Legally, folks. The 21-year-old is looking to set the Ducks on fire and looking forward to seeing what he does this coming year. Last year, Olen Zellweger had his first full professional season. Years before, he was with the Everett Silvertips of the WHL. Then after that, he had a playoff run with the Kamloops Blazers. But as I mentioned, last year was his first full pro year. Between the Ducks and the San Diego Gulls, he had 70 games and wound up with 46 points, 14 goals. Not bad, not bad. And that's, again, between the Ducks and the Gulls. He was also named the San Diego Gulls All-Star representative in last season's AHL All-Star game. Very excited to see what he does in the coming years. He is expected to crack the Ducks roster out of training camp this year. So we're expecting some pretty big things out of Olen Zellweger, who turns 21 years old. Happy belated birthday, Olen. And my favorite birthday, one that I just love celebrating, so I'm just going to say it. Happy belated birthday, Troy Terry, who just turned 27 years old. He's still young, folks. He just turned 27 years old. That's right. And he's going to have a pretty solid year this year. So last year, he was on some questionable lines. I thought he still had a pretty solid season. 76 games, 54 points, 20 goals. That's almost on pace with what he did the previous two seasons. 2 years ago, he had 37 goals, 67 points. Last season, year before, 23 goals, 61 points. Last year, 20 goals, 54 points. Is he regressing? No, I don't think so. I think part of what happened last year was that he tried to make Leo Carlsson a part of the team, and he was starting to look past first again. All right, Troy, I love you, buddy, but look for your shot, man. you got a good shot. Look for it. So I'm expecting Troy Terry to have, I guess for him, a bounce back year. And what does a bounce back year look like for Troy Terry? I would say 25, 30 goals, back up to 60 to 70 points next season. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm hoping out of Troy Terry. This offense is starting to gel together. And now that Greg Cronin is using his own coaching staff, I see this going on the up and up. So Troy Terry, turning 27 years old, happy birthday to the fellow Virgo. And finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this, but it was also my birthday on September 10th. So yeah, myself, Zels, and Troy, we share a birthday on September 10th. So happy birthday to all of us. This is where I peel back the curtain way too much. Yeah, my birthday, I will just say that I had a little bit of food poisoning. Yeah, that was not on my bingo card a couple days ago, which is why there wasn't a podcast. I never wish that on anybody, so bleh. But there you go. So once again, happy birthday to all of us. September 10th, the best birthday around, if you're a Ducks fan. All right, that's going to do it for this podcast. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for listening. We will have one more podcast coming up very soon because this is a pretty big one. It is going to, I guess, unofficially or officially be the last one of the season. And then we are going to put a little bow on that. And the new official season of Locked On Ducks begins next week. I'm very excited about that. In the meantime, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Don't forget this podcast is free and available across all platforms, including Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc., etc. You can follow me on Twitter, X, at StimpyJD. The show's Twitter, X, is at LO_Ducks. You could email me at LockedOnAnaheimDucks@gmail.com. Once again, thank you all for your continued support. It is so greatly appreciated. For Locked On Anaheim Ducks, I'm Jason JD Hernandez saying have a great rest of the day. Please remember to be safe out there. Please be kind to one another. Stay tuned for the next episode. And Ducks fly together.